I call this meeting to order. This is the Commissioner meeting of March 8th, 2023 at 6 p.m. in the Sussex County Administrative Center, the Commissioner Meeting Room on 1 Spring Street, Newton, New Jersey. A roll call, please.
Deputy Director Yardley.
Here.
Director Carney.
Here.
Commissioner Fantasia. Here. Commissioner Hayden.
Here.
Commissioner Space. Here.
Number 3 is a moment of silence and a salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Number 4 is a public statement. Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, PL 1975, adequate notice as defined by Section 3D of Chapter 231, PL 1975, has been made by regular mail and email. Such notice being submitted on January 4th, 2023, from the Administrative Center of the County of Sussex, located at 1 Spring Street, Newton, New Jersey, to the following: the New Jersey Herald and the Star Ledger, and also is posted on the bulletin board maintained in the Administrative Center for public announcements and has been submitted to the Sussex County Clerk in compliance with said act. At this time, please mute all electronic devices. Number 5 is the approval agenda. Can I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Commissioner Hayden, can I have a second?
Second.
Commissioner Space, any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Carried. Number 6 is proclamations, certificates, and presentations. We do have a presentation, which most of you are here for tonight, and that's from Blue Cross Blue Shield, Brown & Brown reps. This is regarding our retiree health insurance. If you could please come up, state your name and where you're from for the record.
Good evening, and thank you for allowing us to attend. My name is Anna Acasella. I am a representative of Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey.
I'm Jeannie Andriata, a representative of Brown & Brown.
So thank you for allowing us to come to discuss some of the challenges that some of the retirees have encountered with the new plan that was effective as of July 1st of 2022. I have with me today some of the information that was provided to the retiree population, including a letter that we sent out back in December to all of the retirees included in the program by the County of Sussex. At that time, we discovered that we were overpaying providers and members for their deductible, under their health plan. Under the retiree population, as I'm sure you're aware, but I'll explain very briefly, as a retiree, most individuals, as a non-active employee, if they are over 65, Medicare becomes their primary carrier. The County of Sussex is a secondary program for those retirees under the COB regulation. According to some of the explanation of benefits that some of the retirees received, it is a high deductible program, which means that every individual under the program has a $1,500 deductible and a family contract has a $3,000 deductible. After the deductible is satisfied, Horizon Blue Cross and Blue Shield pays 100% of the allowed amounts. The deductible for $1,500 and $3,000 is provided by the County of Sussex. It is supplemented by the county so that the employee or the retiree does not have to pay any out-of-pocket exposure. What we were finding is when we received those claims and submitted them to our third-party administrator, which is Further Incorporated, we were transmitting information on the deductible, which included what Medicare had provided to the providers. We were only responsible, or the county is only responsible, for the 20% coinsurance that Medicare did not pay. Medicare pays 80% of the plan, and Horizon was going to reimburse 20%, the 20% coinsurance. What we found back in November is that we were overpaying providers and we were overpaying members because we had transmitted to our third-party administrator Further the full deductible amount, or for a lack of a better term, the Medicare allowed amount. And obviously, Medicare paid 80%, we were only responsible for 20%. So what we did to prevent any further complications or any further overpayments made by the County of Sussex is we put a stop on those claims being automatically transmitted over to our third-party administrator further. Our letter that we sent out, and I apologize, I only brought 5 copies of the letter, but we can make additional copies. What we indicated in the letter is that in the interim, until we get a permanent fix to our system, is that the retiree can submit with an explanation of benefits and a claim form the 20% coinsurance to further, and they would issue a check to the retiree for that 20% coinsurance, okay? Many of the retirees did process and did send those, submit those claims to further. A lot of the retirees reached out to Debbie Funky over in the HR department of the County of Sussex, and she has provided me with those individuals, and I reached out to those individuals, and I have been submitting their claims on their behalf since December of 2022.
May I have a copy of it?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Whoops.
You want to take, yeah, we'll have Ron make some copies. Maybe if you wouldn't mind, if you can give those copies out to the people that are.
whole bunch.
that are here. You got it? Yeah, and-
They
and
were all
then-
mailed to everybody's individual home
That's
based
what I
off of what our system
Well, anybody who wants one in the audience, we'll get you a copy, okay?
Yeah. So we also provided the county with information regarding a Q&A as well as a intranet.
Thank you.
I'll let her finish handing that out.
Yep, that's fine.
Everybody
Just need to
gets
make sure I'm
distracted.
getting one for the official record.
Yeah. Thanks.
Have one, maybe make 4.
Yeah.
So we have provided a lot of information to the county regarding opportunities for individuals to go online, look at the information that is available to them, either their explanation of benefits or their explanation of payments. Because as the program works, the claim is submitted to Horizon, the retirees, the claim is submitted to Medicare first. Medicare then spins the claim over to Horizon, showing what Medicare allowed for that particular claim. If the member sees the services of a Medicare provider, that Medicare provider must accept the Medicare allowed amount. Most individuals do access Medicare providers, and there are, I can't think of a handful that don't accept Medicare. So Medicare gets the claim, and Medicare provides the allowed amount. They send the check to the provider, and then they roll it over to Horizon Blue Cross, and then we pay, or we administer the balance, or the 20%. So again, we did have a problem where we were paying the deductible amount, because we do look at that deductible amount, because that is part of a Medicare claim as well, because Medicare does have a $300 deductible that members have to first satisfy before, they make any payment under Medicare. We will adjust that claim and pay that deductible as well. And in our explanation of benefits, there's a column that says deductible amount, and then there's a member liability amount. We are only paying the member liability amount, which is the 20% coinsurance. So we do have a fix in the system. I am very pleased and very happy to say that we are sending a file over to Further next Wednesday for all claims that were processed from February 1st onward. So there will be we no longer have a need for members to submit claims on their own behalf to obtain the additional 20% coinsurance back from Horizon.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, please.
So you said in November you were made aware of it.
In November, we were made aware.
So
yes.
everything, the claims were, how are you rectifying, first of all, the claims that were?
Internally, we're rectifying those claims. If we become aware of an individual that has not submitted a claim on their behalf,
Okay.
they come to me, they come directly to me. Trust me, I have a whole file full of retiree claims. Many of the retirees do know me by name. and I submit the claims on their behalf. So I can extract the explanation of benefits from the system, which is very easy for me to do, rather than a retiree copying an explanation of benefits and snail mailing it to further over in Kentucky. So they reach out to me, I call them, they give me their dates of service, I pull the explanation of benefits, I complete the claim form on their behalf, and I submit it to further.
So any claims now from February 1st on, any doctor visits from February 1st on, they no longer have to
They
do
no longer
this
have to submit
rigmarole?
paper claims, that's correct. So there is a systemic fix that we have made into the system, and every week a file will be going over to our third-party administrator further so that they can process all the claims for the retirees. What we did with the population for the retirees is we set up a separate group number for those retirees because we wanted to be very specific as to where they would be housed in the future. So under one specific group number, we do have under and over retirees. The under 65 retirees, we don't have a problem with because obviously there's no Medicare involved and there's no spinning from CMS to Horizon Blue Cross. So when we get those claims for the under 65 population, the non-Medicare primary population, that's automatically going over to further because the full amount of the allowed amount is being processed under the deductible. And we are processing those and making payments to either the provider if it's a network provider or the member if they utilize an out-of-network provider. So it really is kind of twofold. You have to look at the population in two different segments. You have your over 65 population, which is Medicare primary, and then you have your under 65 population, which is Horizon primary.
Christina, would you
question, too.
happen to know how many retirees we have that fall into the elderly category? 65 is not elderly.
356.
I was going to say
Where
it was
we
over
are.
300.
Okay.
356
So if
over
we're-
65.
Well, that's still not, in my opinion, not elderly, but I'm talking about, we saw what happened even with COVID and people trying to help. There has to be some people that are in the system that haven't even put two and two together with this yet. I mean, I know I myself at my job have a similar program with a high deductible and pay and have to submit the explanation of benefits and whatnot. And I'm fairly computer savvy, and let me tell you, it's a pain in the rear. So I can't even imagine what this is like for somebody who, and I know, God bless you for
I've
taking
spoken
it on
to
and
some of
doing
the
it, but
80, 90-year-old
This
retirees,
is a
and they are
mess.
not computer savvy, which
This
is
is a mess.
one of the reasons why I accommodate those individuals and I extract the explanation of benefits on their behalf and submit the claim on their behalf. So it's just a matter of a phone call. I know Debbie Funky in HR has been receiving a multitude of phone calls from the retirees, but she passes them over to me.
Okay.
And then I reach out to the retiree, and then I submit the claims on their behalf.
Herb, just before you go, so I have, well, number one, the first question I have for you is, we have a bunch of retirees here. They do have questions, I'm sure. I do have some of their questions here that I would like to read to you first,
Sure.
and hopefully that'll answer some of their questions and that
Absolutely.
could alleviate. But
Yes.
my question to you is, maybe for a good 10 minutes, if you wouldn't mind sticking around and answering their
Absolutely.
questions. That would
Absolutely.
be
I
good.
brought
And
my
you guys,
pad.
there might be a question in here that I don't ask, and then, we'll spend 10, 15 minutes if that's good.
Absolutely.
Get this done. They did come out.
Yep.
Whether they were away, they're retired, hopefully they were away, to come out here, so I would like to get
Oh,
this settled
absolutely.
today.
No, I'm
So
here
gonna
for the
read.
duration, whatever, the members need.
Okay, I'm going to read you these 12 questions.
Certainly.
They might be redundant, I didn't write them, but,
Okay.
so one is, when will this be fixed? You answered that, it's basically fixed per se from February.
Next Wednesday, a full file is going over for all claims from February 1st through March.
Okay. Two is, why is it taking so long?
Well, it's a system, unfortunately. It's a systemic fix. And we didn't realize when we started this program that we would be sending over the full deductible amount, which included the Medicare allowed amount as well. So that was the problem. So we now have fixed the system so that we have a string of information that now goes over that is not the deductible amount, but the member liability amount. Because we only look at the deductible amounts for an HRA when in fact we were paying the member liability amount, which was the 20%. So that's why the system didn't know to look at something different because it was a Medicare person. We had to teach the system to do that. And if you know anything about systems, it takes a long time and a lot of people at Horizon, trust me, in order to facilitate these systemic fixes.
Understood. To me, this is not my forte by all means. It kind of bothers me and probably bothers the people in the audience. You know, Horizon's a multi-billion-dollar company. There should be no glitches whatsoever. It
Understood.
just really shouldn't. This
Understood.
conversation shouldn't even have to take place.
I know.
Not on you. I understand you're trying to help, but let's be real. You make that much money, you shouldn't have a problem.
Director, on that as well. So this was an error between the third-party administrator and Blue Cross Blue Shield, and that's where the error took place?
This was us sending the information to our third-party administrator under the HSA, yes.
Thank you.
All right, moving on. 3, I've submitted for reimbursement. Why are they being denied? Kind of answered that before. I don't have a computer. How am I to get my EOB to send with a claim form?
You're looking at her.
Okay.
It's me.
So they have to call you.
They reach out to me or to Debbie and they leave their telephone number with Debbie at any time of the day because Debbie listens to her emails during the day and she forwards me those electronic emails or voice messages,
So
I
we
should say.
still have some, I guess, that haven't gotten return calls. We're gonna.
No, I've returned every single phone call that I've received, yes. I can tell you who I've spoken to. You can name a name and I can tell you who I've spoken to.
There needs to be a system. Well, number one, Debbie Funky, you know, she works for the county.
I know,
but
I understood.
She's getting bombarded by this. This
Understood.
is not in her job description, and she doesn't mind helping, and that's what she's going to do. But
Understood, and in the letter that we released, I did provide my email address so that if anybody wanted to send me an email with the dates of service that they had, it's explained in that letter that
This
we
letter?
did send out. Yes,
And yet got mailed to all of that.
we mailed it to every retiree under the plan, yes, sir.
What was the date?
hold on, Herb, Herb, just hold on.
When-
Let's just finish
when?
this question.
When did you mail it out?
It was December sometime that we mailed it out. I don't know the exact date. I can get back to the committee and let you know the exact date that it dropped.
Go ahead, Commissioner.
Okay, so I do remember getting the letter, and it says here, till the issue is resolved, remove, okay. Let's see, and it said, apologize for inconvenience, and that should be resolved. It says here, and will soon be resolved. So when I read this, I had my bills, I went online, did, and got reimbursed, and some of the people said they had got rejected. So I went to a dermatologist. That reimbursement was rejected. I was able to talk to someone from Blue Cross Blue Shield because when I got rejected, I called up, and that person said it's rejected, and she had to override the system. Now, I was very fortunate. I happened to dial through. I got through right away. Some of the residents are saying were stuck on hold for a long time. It could be when you dial, but the problem is that some people are being told the benefit they're supposed to get, they were denied. I think that's what some people were telling me.
There were some I don't mean to
Go
interrupt
ahead.
you, sir.
Okay.
There were some individuals that did receive rejections from Further, and when I did investigation on some of those rejections, the explanation of benefits were not submitted with the claim form. In some cases, I'm not saying in all cases, but in some cases, members were submitting a bill with the claim form rather than the explanation of benefits that showed what the member liability was. They can't process based off of a bill. And it was clear in the letter that Further needed an explanation of benefits, not a bill from the provider.
And I understand it. In my case, I gave the code. They had the code. They couldn't understand. The person was very nice. The point is, this letter led me to believe that this was a temporary situation.
It is. It was.
December, January, February into March. So I have these. And so you're telling me tonight that I could take these and throw these away because you're going to pay these bills because these happened in February.
Well, I don't want you to, those are February
These are
bills.
February
Yes,
bills.
yes.
And you're gonna take care of it.
Yes, we are. February 1st, any claim that we receive for a date of service, February 1st onward, is going to an electronic file to further next Wednesday.
And so that's assuming that your provider has submitted those claims.
Correct. That's assuming that your provider submitted the claims to Blue Cross. Because again, we're the first stop. So I assume you're a retiree, under 65 retiree, not Medicare primary. So we're primary for your benefits. We're not secondary.
So, this, I need to just ask another question, so I
Herb.
understand the process. So I need to, what you're saying is I need to call the office, get a hold of the billing department and find out whether this bill was submitted?
No, you should have received, if the bill was submitted, you will always get an explanation of benefits from Horizon saying that we received a bill on your behalf from provider XYZ, and we've processed the claim, and this is the amount that the provider submitted, this is the allowed amount, that if it's a Blue Cross provider, because we've gone out and we've negotiated on your behalf a discount for that service, that's the amount that is then applied towards your deductible. And if you're not Medicare primary, any amount that was allowed is now subject to your deductible, and it goes over to Further, and Further makes a payment to your provider on your behalf. It's a little different with the retirees because, again, remember, we're talking about coordination of benefits. We're secondary, we're not primary. Medicare is primary. So if you're over 65, you must be Medicare primary if you're a retiree from the county of Sussex.
Anything else, Herb?
Did I feel like I confused rather than clarified.
Well,
I apologize,
The-
sir.
The issue is that you have to download or at least sign into the Horizon app.
Well, you should always check your claims, because you should always ensure that a doctor or a provider has submitted a claim on your behalf and that they truly are your claims, obviously. You know, you want to make sure that they're being processed.
Most people generally don't do that. I'm not going to speak for everybody, but most people, we tend to go in, we'll get a statement, and I do go on and look to see when it comes, but I really didn't realize that I had to go look and make sure these things were.
My recommendation to any member, whether it's the county of Sussex or any one of my thousands of members, is that when you get a bill from a provider, you want to ensure that the provider is billing you for an accurate amount, that they are not billing you excessive amounts. Because there are situations, and I have seen it in my 32-year career at Horizon Blue Cross, especially with senior citizens, where they bill for additional amounts that they are not entitled to. If they are entitled to $8.87, which is the 20% coinsurance from Medicare, that's all they are entitled to. Not $35, not $40. I was just on the phone on behalf of one of your members, a gentleman who was getting a bill from a doctor for $149, when his 20% coinsurance was only $29.93. And he asked me to call the provider, and I did call the provider, and I submitted to the provider a copy of his explanation of benefits, and they said, oh, okay, we'll send him a revised bill. Well, if he hadn't looked and he hadn't reached out to me, they would have harassed him for $140. So it really is imperative that people look at their explanation of benefits to ensure that they are being billed for the proper amount. Blue Cross isn't the only one that makes mistakes. There are some times where providers do make a mistake. And we just want to keep everybody in line, you know, just like I want to be kept in line. Providers should be, you know, looked at and made sure that they are billing members for the correct amount, not any amount that they feel that they want to bill. I take care of my mother's bills, so I know I get a ton of bills, you know, for $8, for $20, for $10, for $13. These providers will bill Medicare recipients for $1.93. I got a bill for my mother for $1.93, which was her 20% coinsurance. I paid the $1.93, but they want their $1.93. And I just want people to be sure that they are paying what is legitimately the amount that these providers are due. And that can be captured in an explanation of benefits.
Okay.
Commissioner, are you good? You okay?
I will look at those for you, though, afterwards. If you could just scribble down your ID number, I'll review it and I'll get back to you.
Before we-
Don't want any special treatment. I will go through the process like everyone else here. I'm gonna wait and see what happens.
Everyone is special in my book.
Oh, thank you.
Even if it's the janitor, it doesn't matter. Everybody deserves the answers that they are looking for under the program.
All right.
Before we open it up to the public, I just want to hear from the rest of the commissioners. Dawn, if you have any more questions?
No, I
Are you
don't.
okay? Commissioner Space, you have any? Commissioner Hayden?
Yeah, just a quick question. Some of the retirees have stated that they're getting hit with finance charges. Who is handling that?
I can handle that on their behalf.
So they need to contact you at this
Yes.
email, Anna?
Yes.
Okay.
please. Mhm. Yep. I've only had one situation where an individual was charged $1 something for finance charges, which I think is absolutely ludicrous.
No, I know, but
And no one's been sent to or threatened with debt collections?
No, I've addressed all of those that I've been made aware of. I have had none of the retirees that have gone to collections, none. Not that I'm aware of, but I've spoken to hundreds of the retirees, and I don't know if I've spoken to any of the retirees here.
I just had to pay bills because they took it on collections. I have one pending you haven't touched, the two you told us you were gonna touch, you didn't do anything, and I had to keep access down, keep it out of collections.
Okay, well, I'll take a look at that, and see.
yeah, because we're getting, I mean, the emails are coming to our personal emails.
Yeah.
I have
So-
3 just last week about,
They should be emailing me,
No, they don't feel they're getting any results, and that's why they're reaching out to us.
but if anybody has reached out to me, they've gotten results. I mean, I can give you case by case of individuals that have reached out to me and that I've submitted claims on their behalf. Now, if they get rejected, if they get a denial from further, then they come back to me and then I send it back to further and I have it adjusted immediately. But if they don't come back to me, if there's a problem, I don't know after I submit the claim. Because as I said, every day I'm submitting claims on behalf of retirees.
How many a
for the
day do you
county.
think you're dealing with now?
I'd say on a daily basis, I get about, I'm pulling EOBs, so I get about 15 to 20 claims that I'm submitting on a daily basis for retirees. Most of them are repeat individuals. Most of them that are familiar with me and I've reached out to. Most of them do send me emails. I've gotten quite a few emails from retirees as well.
The file you're sending over, they should all be coded so that the retirees are picked up and we won't miss anybody.
Nope,
Okay.
you won't miss anybody.
Commissioner, you good?
I'm good.
I'm just going to read you these 3 quotes, and then I'm
Yes,
just
sir.
going to open it up for some questions. We're going to start on my right side when it goes, that way we're not jumping out of order, not getting crazy. I just want to read you these quotes because I said I would. These are from our retirees. I am having to pay out of pocket for the bills so they don't go into collection. Kind of the same thing what Commissioner Hayden just said. This insurance is not good. I am wondering when we can expect to have the issue with our health benefits resolved. It's going on 6 months now. I haven't had any claims for this year to submit, but I have some doctor's visits coming up in March, and as the further account has to be used up before BS will kick in. I'm a bit concerned with what's going on. So, as Commissioner Hayden said, yeah, we are getting these. And me personally, I know, obviously, Commissioner Hayden, we get emails, we got to answer them. So now it's, not only is it taking Debbie Fickey's time now it's our time.
Understood.
So I don't know how I know you're working hard on it, and I'm not going to disagree on that whatsoever, but there's got to be a way to fix this. If there's some kind of taskbar that if Mrs. Smith said, hey, I asked this question on the 12th of March, still haven't heard anything, it's been 2 weeks. That's got to be looked at. That's got to be prioritized. So, again, that's not my forte whatsoever. I'm here for these people, so this is why we're having this discussion. So, if anybody has questions, please go one at a time. Please have, one question. Well, we're going to start to my right, the lady in blue.
I do have questions. I had called Blue Cross Blue Shield and further, and everybody else down there because nothing was getting paid. And I happen to have a medical bill that
repeats every month, and it's expensive. It's well, it's thousands of dollars, but my part would be $128.
Okay.
So I submitted that
To further,
to further.
with the claim form and an explanation of benefits?
And when you say explanation of benefits, do you want Medicare's?
No, ma'am. We
You
want
don't
the
have your
Horizon.
own? You don't
No,
even have access to your,
no, your Horizon explanation of
right,
benefits.
but you don't have access to that.
I have access to the
I need
Horizon
send
EOB.
that to you.
No, I have access to the Horizon EOBs. I do not have access to the Medicare EOBs. However.
What is EOB?
Explanation of
An explanation of benefits. I
Okay.
apologize.
And are you looking for the code that?
No, sir. I'm looking for the explanation of benefits that shows the date of service, the provider, the
From
charge.
Medicare?
No, ma'am, from Horizon.
But you aren't you Horizon or someone near Horizon?
I'm from Horizon, yes, ma'am,
And
but
you don't have access to
I
that.
do have access. That's what I said. I have access on behalf of the retirees if they don't have it, if they did not submit through snail mail. Some retirees took their hard copies of their explanation of benefits, as was instructed in the letter, filled out the claim form, and mailed it to Lexington, Kentucky.
I did.
Okay? If they did not have a copy or the ability to print, there are several retirees that did not have the ability to print an explanation of benefits or take a copy of a claim form. That's when that's when the letter says to reach out to me, send me an email with your dates of service,
Well, I
then
did.
I've been pulling.
I did all of those things.
You did, you sent me an email.
And the information I got back said, and it was after they had reviewed everything, and it said, these expenses, the $128 a month that I have to pay as my deductible, was an eligible expense under this account type.
Okay,
What does that mean?
that's incorrect.
Well,
So that was
you know, the onus is on us.
Understood,
unfortunately.
but I have had members, and I think I said earlier that I did have members that submitted the paper copies, but didn't submit the explanation of benefits. They submitted the bill from the provider.
No, but I submitted the
Okay.
whole thing.
Okay, then I can absolutely take a copy of that, and I can get that claim adjusted.
And you're welcome to a copy. Here, you can have it. I mean, I'm really happy to give it to you. I mean, I'm really totally disgusted. Everybody's everyone's credit is being destroyed.
No, credit is not.
Our credit rating.
Just to be crystal clear, medical expenses do not affect credit ratings. That is a law. So regardless of what anybody tells you, you could look it up on Google. Medical expenses do not affect credit ratings. I know that people always say to me, oh, it's going to collection, it's gonna ruin my credit. Medical expenses do not apply to any credit rating. I do need one other thing, Carol, from you, and I don't want to share it with everybody, but if you could just write down your identification number, your 3HDN number on this.
What? I don't know.
Your ID number on your identification card.
It's just so complicated.
Your Verizon ID card,
And everybody's saying their claims are getting.
it's not on this one, so I
But
can't.
his claims are getting denied.
Yeah, it only has a different ID. So
They
if you
think
could
they
give
have to
that
pay,
to me,
even
you
the
could
new
just
ones
write that
from
on this
government.
form, then we have
No,
to
but
take care of
everybody
that
up
for you.
until January 31st.
I have a question, but just real quick. When
Yes,
you're
sir.
asking people to send in an explanation of their benefits, are you looking for the visit detail number? Is that
No,
what?
sir, I'm looking for, when Horizon gets a claim and we process it, we send out a member, it's a 6-page document. I don't want the 6 pages, obviously, because it talks about how to appeal a claim, what your rights are under HIPAA, it's 6 pages. I need about 3 pages of your explanation of benefits. The first page, the second page that provides the details on the claim, and that's really all I need.
And that's from the website, correct?
You can extract that, you can download it with your member ID on the Horizon website, yes.
Okay.
Ma'am?
Some of them do get mailed to copy, yes. There was another question, I'm sorry.
Ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you all done in the blue? Are you done with your questions?
Thank
Okay.
you very much.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm grateful. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Yes.
For 2 hours and 45 minutes. They put me through to Benefit Wallet, and the Benefit Wallet was asking me for my account number. I'm like, I have no clue what you're talking about. I don't have Benefit Wallet.
And I apologize, your call obviously was misrouted. That was an error on the customer service representative's behalf.
And then yesterday I was filling out the claim form, and I had a question, so I called through the member service phone number, and they had no clue what I was even talking about. So yesterday I filled out the claim form,
Do you have it with you, ma'am?
the claim form,
Yes, ma'am.
the one I filled out,
Yes.
it's in my car.
Okay,
But
I'd be more than happy to take it and submit it on your
I
behalf.
faxed it yesterday with all the ELBs.
Okay,
I also scanned all forms and sent it through an email and then faxed it also. So how do I know if they even received it? When will I know?
you can reach out to Further through their customer service and see if they have the claim on file.
That phone number that's on?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
But however, if you do want to give me copies of it, I'd be more than happy to submit it on your behalf. Because again, I have access to explanation of benefits for all my members.
Okay. Also, I got a bill yesterday from my dermatologist, and it's showing what Medicare paid, and then it's showing Blue Cross Blue Shield didn't pay anything, and they're asking me for $200.
Is that the Medicare 20% allowance after the Medicare allowance? Again, it's very important that you review the explanation of benefits because I want to ensure that everybody is getting an accurate bill from their provider. Because if you're going to a Medicare doctor, that doctor has to accept the Medicare allowed amount. And I've seen charges that are thousands of dollars and Medicare pays $100 on a service. If they are a Medicare provider, they have to accept that amount as the allowed amount.
Well, I have the Horizon Act, so I have access to all that. So I looked on the ELB, and I saw that the amount owed was exactly what they're asking me for.
Fine, if you want to give me a copy of that, is it a claim in February?
No, it was for January.
I'll take a copy of that, and I'd be more than happy to submit that on your behalf as well.
Okay.
If you could just give me your identification number on that form, I'd be more than happy to submit it on your behalf, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I'm not 65, so I'm not on Medicare.
Okay.
However, my husband is, and we never received a letter.
Oh, you should have received a letter. I apologize, because we extracted all the 65-plus individuals.
Yeah, it's not,
Are you the contract holder?
yes.
Okay, that may have been the situation, because he's a dependent under your contract, so it's basically a carve-out. So you have a one over and a one under, so that's, your claims went through. We let the floodgates go for you for the under 65. It was the over 65. Do you have claims for your husband that you?
No, fortunately, I don't.
Good.
But I just want to let you know the gap there, because we never received a letter.
Okay, and I apologize for that, but it's very possible that when we read the file, we were only reading the contract holders that were over 65.
I can email you tomorrow.
Okay, great. Yes, ma'am.
I sent in for my husband yesterday. I'll be 65 in September, but he is past that now. I sent in 3 bills yesterday with the claim form, 3 separate bills.
Okay.
One did not, we didn't have an EOB, I couldn't find an EOB. It's gotta be somewhere, so I sent a copy of the bill. Now, should I email you tomorrow?
You should email me tomorrow, because I can't process it with a bill or a statement, because a lot of the retirees, just took pictures of their bills and they emailed it to me. I actually need the explanation of benefits. Now, if I find that the doctor didn't submit the bill,
No, he did, you can see on the bill that it did go through Medicare first.
Okay, but did it spin to us? Because again, remember, we have to get the secondary bill from Medicare.
Like it did.
Okay, all right,
Like it did, but I didn't have anything else to send with it, so I just did that. I found
that's fine. That's fine, I'll pull them, just give me yeah, if you give me the dates of service, all I need minimum information. And this is what I absolutely need, I need your ID number, and I need the date of service, that's all I need. And I'll do the rest.
Sorry, your fault.
confirm. I know you're submitting it in February. but
Yes, ma'am.
Right now, going ahead, you're gonna continue
Every week, they're gonna get a file, every single solitary week. You don't have to worry about anything. The only caveat is anything that was incurred from July through December or through January 31st. If you're getting bills, then they have to come to me so that I can submit on your behalf. If you get a rejection from further, I just have to slap them on the hand and tell them, pay the bill. Because I have had a few that have got, denied, it's not a deductible amount, it's not eligible. So all I do is take a picture of that, or you send me a copy of that, I send it out to further, and then within 2 or 3 days, you get a check, believe it or not. Because I slap them on the hands and say, hey, guys, you denied in error. Are there any other questions on this side?
Anna, I talked to you. My name's Terry Lawler.
Hi, Terry, nice to meet you.
You helped me out quite a bit, but I still haven't received the check or anything to pay these other bills.
Okay, let me know
Talk
what,
about January and December.
let me know what the dates are, Terry,
I
and
sent
I'll,
them all to you.
okay, but when did I submit them, Terry?
I talked to you 2 weeks ago.
Okay, so I submitted them 2 weeks, so you should be getting a check shortly.
Okay,
But if you want, send me another email, and I'll see what the status is on those claims.
you gotta realize how stressful this is on all of us.
I totally understand, Terry, and I've spoken to you and a number of retirees, and I understand the predicament, and I am here to assist. I am not here to prevent the problem from reoccurring. I'm here to solve the problem on your behalf.
I tell you, I would have been happy if we just paid our $10 copay and be back in the house.
No, but when you think about it, okay, I understand the philosophy, but when you think about it, you now don't even have to pay a $10 copay, right? Well, there wouldn't have been, trust me when I tell you, there wouldn't have been anything to worry about if we hadn't had this systemic problem.
We're not shooting arrows at you.
Oh, you can shoot the arrows at me. I get it, I understand
The
what you're,
situation is bad.
I totally understand the situations that you're going through, and, as, I do. Okay,
All right, I'll start.
okay, you can start. I'm sorry, before you start, ma'am. Terry, are you finished?
I'm done. I'd just like to see a check to pay the bills.
I want to get you the check so that you can pay the bills. Yes, sir.
No, I'm not gonna cry, I'm gonna end up in the hospital again. In December, we started getting doctor bills from November visits, both of us. My husband's insurance, he's not 65, I'm 65. So this started, I wasn't even on Medicare at this time, in July. I spent,
When did you turn 65?
it became effective in September.
Okay, so in July and August, you were not Medicare primary, you were Blue Cross primary. September 1st, you had to enroll in Medicare and become Medicare primary as of September 1. Okay. I'm trying to chronologize.
That's fine.
Okay.
So we had bills for November, we didn't get paid. I called Horizon. For the whole entire month of December, I spent over 5 hours on the phone. Now, number one, I don't have a smartphone, I don't have a computer, and I don't have email.
Okay.
Over 5 hours in a period of a month. Call Horizon, you wait half an hour, somebody will be right with you. You get somebody, I tell them what I want, I can't help you, I gotta transfer you to a supervisor. Click, I'm disconnected after 15 seconds. I call back again. Wait another half an hour. Talk to somebody different. I have to call my supervisor, I can't help you. Nobody could help us for the whole month of December. Nobody could give us answers why these bills were not getting paid, and we did not get that letter. All right? I finally reached out to Brown and Brown. They are wonderful. They have helped me every step of the way. They had answers for me. They already knew the situation. She told me how I had to send the claim forms in, that there was an issue with the electronic payments. I had to send the claim forms in with the EOBs in order to get paid. She also sent me a copy of the letter that you said you sent out with no date on it. So I don't know when that letter went out because we never received it. I got it from Brown and Brown. Right now, this month, I finally got 2 checks in the mail for bills in November. I have a December bill I'm waiting on. Now I have a January bill, and I just was at the doctor in February having heart tests because my blood pressure is so high that she was gonna put me in the hospital.
I told her not to worry about this.
The bills have to get paid.
I know, Sharon, but you can't drop that because of
The
it.
county needs to be aware they're not being paid. It's, the system stinks.
So when you submitted the claims to Brown and Brown, I assume you sent them to Sandy, correct?
No, I called.
And you spoke to
she sent
Sandy.
me claim forms that I needed. Nobody at Horizon told me that I needed to send claim forms. Nobody at Horizon told me. They told me it was a Medicare issue and Horizon issue. One bill I just got a check for, it was for him. He's not on Medicare. And the doctor appointment was back on November 28th. Why? You stopped all payments. That's not right. You can't let people, leave people hanging.
I don't even go to the doctor, I'm overdue by 4 months, because I don't want her to deal with this.
We obviously don't want individuals to not get the medical services that they require or that they need.
The two of us need to have blood work done. We haven't gone because we're afraid we're gonna get a bill in the mail that we can't afford to pay.
I think it's probably best that we maybe talk about this after the meeting so that we can get some additional details that are very specific to you and to your husband. I don't wanna lessen the issue
No,
here
it's
for
just
you, but I wanna
that
make sure
I
that.
made so many calls. Thank God I'm retired. I spent so much time on the phone trying to get through to Southern Horizon and trying to get an answer, and I never got one answer from Verizon. Brown and Brown.
And what is your name, ma'am?
Sharon
Sharon?
Crawford. I spoke to, previously I spoke to Sandy.
Sandy
Jeannie
was
was
somebody
the
that's.
one that helped me on the phone the last time and sent me the forms I needed.
Oh, Jeannie. No, she said
Yeah,
Jeannie.
me.
She's Jeannie.
Me.
You.
And you were very pleasant,
Thank you.
you were very helpful. You sent me what I needed. By this time, you probably already knew the process of what was going on. So you could say, okay, this, you have to do this, this, and this. Nobody at Horizon ever did that, not once, not to this day. I'm going by what they told me, and now I wait for the EOBs to come so that I can get a claim form and send it in. Shouldn't have to do that. I shouldn't have to have my blood pressure go so high that my doctor wants to put me in the hospital. And it was a $60 bill, it wasn't even, it was thousands, $60.
Okay, excuse me, just real quick, I don't mean to cut you off by all means, but we gotta keep this meeting going on, and if you could work with her.
Yes,
You know,
absolutely.
after we're done here, cause they're gonna be done with, after this presentation, so if anybody needs to speak to them.
I understand, other people have to have their say.
Yep,
but
absolutely.
I'm
So-
not gonna have their say.
I appreciate your comments, I do. Is there anybody else on the left side of me?
Yes, sir.
As my wife was saying, the bills that we paid today aren't large bills, but they were giving us into collections Friday if we didn't go and pay them today. You can be, I talked to them on the phone, if you don't pay something, either the $5 or whatever, they weren't large bills, I gotta admit, but we were told that we would never have to pay anything. So we just went today, went to the billing department, paid the bills. We asked them if we would get reimbursed if the insurance company got their act together and actually paid the bill. They said yes. And I have another bill that is hanging here since September the 27th for the urology, which is $200 and some odd. I get home last night, there's a message on my computer, an email, that they need this before March 24th, or that's gonna go into collection.
Be happy to take a look at that for you, sir, and submit it on your behalf.
Do you have the letter with Anna's email address? Have you been in touch with Anna?
Yes, actually, she called me about the one, and I thought it was gonna be taken care of, but I still have it here in my hand, and it's not paid. That's the one that they called about last night.
And you haven't received a check from Further? I did submit the claim. Any member that I personally spoke to with the data service, I pulled all the EOBs, and I did. I'm sorry, your last name is?
Blackford.
Oh, yes, okay. I do know the name.
I spoke to somebody at Further when I first started with this in a 3-hour tour that I got called the computerized phone. I finally spoke to somebody at Further, and they said to submit the claim myself because it was an issue between the claims between Blue Cross and Further. I submitted the claim, and 3 weeks later, it came back denied.
And if you have that denial, I can take a copy of that. Or you can email it to me. Do you have access to email? You can take a picture on a lot of the retirees have taken pictures on their smartphones, because a phone is a computer, and you can email it to me as well from your phone.
So one thing to understand with Further is that they are the third-party administrator who administers the HRA. And so when Anna is asking you for copies of the bills, or if you've submitted a bill to Further without an EOB, Further cannot access your Horizon accounts to get a copy of your EOB. And for some of you who have called Brown and Brown, and I have asked you, do you have a copy of the EOB? And if you do, could you send it to me? If you don't, I can go to Horizon, but it's going to take me 5 to 7 days for Horizon to get back to me. Because I'm competing with Anna in their system, and she trumps me. So I just want everybody to understand with Further, they are, I'm gonna say, a financial account. So just like I can't log into Horizon and look at your records, which is for your protection, obviously, right? Further also cannot log into the Horizon account to get a copy of your EOB. So
But I can.
But Anna can, but so for those of you who have come to Brown and Brown and we've said, do you have a copy of the EOB? Or when Anna is saying, if you've submitted a bill to Further and you've just said the claim form and the bill, Further is going to deny that claim because they need the EOB to see what was actually paid. Does that make it a little clearer to understand?
But they're denying mine, saying if not eligible under this.
So yours is a different
type of
situation,
account.
right, yours is a different situation.
I've had a few of those, and I've had to slap them on the hands, and all I do is scan the form and I send it to Further, and they pay it immediately.
Excuse me, Ann?
Yes.
I submitted my bills to you, I never did that, you must have added
I pulled the EOBs.
Okay.
What I said earlier is if anybody reaches out to me and just gives me their ID number and their date of service, I do the rest of the work.
And you told me I could give them to W too, and they were sent.
Yeah, but you didn't even have to do that, Terry. I actually pulled your explanation of benefits. And I sent them, I electronically, I email it directly to Further. So I don't snail mail it either. So what you're doing is you're putting it in an envelope, you're putting a stamp on it, and you're snail mailing it to Select Scenes in Kentucky. I'm sending it electronically to Further.
Just want that bar gold to pay my bills.
I'm gonna get you paid, Terry.
So, Anna,
Yes, yes,
quick
sir.
question before I close to everybody. Hopefully, everybody got their questions answered as much as possible.
I will be here for the remainder of,
And I appreciate that. So my question to you is, all these people came out and spent their time here. Personally, don't think they should have, but that's my opinion.
Understand.
There's other people that couldn't make it.
Right, and I have 2 emails from out-of-staters.
So my suggestion, and it's an ask, is would you be able to come here next week, set up a time?
Yes.
I will give you my office.
Yes.
People can make an appointment, and they can sit with you and do pretty much exactly what these people have done.
I will bring
Because
my
I don't want them
computer.
missing out either.
I can bring my computer, I can pull the EOBs, I can show them that I'm electronically submitting it on their behalf.
Okay.
I'd be more than happy to do that.
during the day.
And if there's a telephone number that you can send to them, that they can reach out to me while I am physically here,
Yes.
that would be
What I would
as
like to
well.
do is start it in the morning. If it takes
All day, I'll
all
be here
day,
all
a couple days, but I just know there's people, probably your friends, that couldn't make it. Or maybe are in Florida, hopefully.
Well, I mean, we weren't even notified of this meeting tonight, the retire, at least I wasn't. Will we be notified of when that happens? That would.
We could put out a mass email rather, and put, obviously it's on our website, it'll be on our website, but we'll get that out as much as possible to everybody. Spread the word verbally, call your friends. I just know you got 30 people here. There's more than 30
Public
people.
announcement,
And I don't want them to miss out, so.
Yeah, we could put a notice in the Herald as well.
We'll put in the Herald, we could do Star Ledger, we'll put out a mass email. Ray Ann's here, our union rep,
And
president.
not to delay anybody, if they have a specific time frame, let's make some time slots for them, so that I don't get 5 people at 11 o'clock, and then they have to wait for,
Before we put it out, you guys, hold on please. Before we put it out, we'll have Christina and you get together and we'll work it out, windows, give everybody 15, 20 minutes, whatever you guys come up with. You guys can call in, get an appointment, and then we'll go from there.
absolutely.
Yeah, because I would hate, you guys are gonna come here and sit here for 3 hours and you're gonna be mad at me. Be mad at him though.
I have a
And
question.
we can do it, we don't have, it doesn't have to be one day, it can be multiple days, because not everybody is available, let's say on a Monday or a Friday. So we can do it like maybe a Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I bring my computer, I can do work if there's a lull.
There's
Either
no
way.
question.
Oh, one more question
Yes,
and then we're gonna close.
I'm sorry.
Simple question. When you fax further or email them, is it gonna take 24 to 48 hours before it gets into the system? Because I've had a lot of places where I call and they're like, well, you gotta wait this many hours before we'll log it into the system. So will it take?
They do usually say 24 hours to log everything in. I mean, I can't guarantee that if I send a claim in, because I'll be honest with you, I've been doing a lot of these submissions on behalf of the retirees, like after hours, because I have a job between at 8 o'clock and 5 o'clock. So I have other customers that are calling me and other issues that I'm dealing with. So after 4 o'clock onward, and some nights it's been as late as 10 o'clock at night, I'm filling out the forms and submitting them to further. So I've got to give them that 24 hours. But hopefully in the morning, they got something in their emails that they're going to work on. So I'm trying to get it as fast over there as possible.
Everybody realizes when you fax something or email it, it's not gonna be done in 3 minutes, that it is done.
No, but they tell me that it takes 5 to 10 business days before they process it and the member gets a check.
Okay,
So I'm holding them to that 5 to 10 business days.
great. All right,
So
so
anybody that needs to see me personally, that has a claim issue, or you would like to address anything with me, I will be outside for the remainder, however long it takes.
Great,
And I
perfect.
thank the committee for their
Please don't
time.
I'm gonna close this to the public. We have a couple more questions from the commissioners before we let you leave. I do appreciate you coming and spending the time with us, but I wanna make sure everybody gets the answers that they're looking for tonight, for the most part, as much as possible. And Commissioner Fantasia has a quick question for you as well.
So I appreciate you saying about setting up, the time to come, like, that's a good start, right? But, what I'm hearing tonight, the gentleman back there with the glasses in the last row said it the absolute best. He said, we negotiated for a deal and I shouldn't be paying anything. So these are all, nobody's trying to be disrespectful. I understand we laugh when we're uncomfortable in a situation, right? This is a very uncomfortable situation. But I don't want anybody to feel marginalized. Like, this lady has to now go out, it's 30 degrees out, you gotta go out to your car and get something. You gotta find your EOB. We have a commissioner who says, what's an EOB? What, I mean, do you know what I'm saying? Like, how confusing is this? You have you losing sleepless nights, not being able to book your blood work, whether it's $60, $6, or $6,000. So, I mean, I'm just gonna ask the question here, it's a little uncomfortable, but I would like to know, is Blue Cross Blue Shield in any way in breach of contract with the county because of this? Because I'd like you to look that up, because I can't, I'm having a hard time processing this, that's all, and I appreciate not shooting the messenger, but this is absolutely nuts.
I gave you 32 years of my life, no questions asked.
Thank you.
Understood, and I appreciate that. I do.
Is that it, Commissioner?
Well, there's a series of people that aren't here. There are people that live in the county and are not here tonight that are having these problems and are unaware of this. And you sent out a letter, this letter back, you said in December. I think maybe you need to send a letter out to the retirees and clearly explain in extremely language that people can understand what the process is, what is being done, how they resolve these things. Because there are people I know that are retired, that I know personally, that aren't here for whatever reason. We all know somebody that will go out there. And so there needs to be more information sent to the retirees to say, and I would say, as per the meeting, here's a discussion we had, and those of you that have problems, this is the process. It's not a letter that has to be filled with
Understood,
information.
and the literature that we provided with the Q&A and all the additional information, that should be available to the retirees as well.
Well, whatever you want to do, but I just got to tell you, Q&A, I was online, totally different situation, looking for whether or not what the warranty was, and you type something in and it goes, no, we can't find it or whatever. All I'm saying is, you just need to have a document to tell me if I have a problem, it's in writing. Do A, B, C, D. If you can't get that done, here's the number to call. Because I don't think we have to add another thing of going to Q&A and searching, because sometimes you use a word that it doesn't recognize for whatever reason. I think anybody that's been on Q&A, sometimes you find what you want, other times you don't. So I think it's a matter of communicating.
The industry is understood, and I do know that the industry is extremely complicated, and it becomes even more complicated, you know, as we age, when Medicare is involved and secondary insurance and all of that. I understand the complexity of everything that goes on. And the only thing I can offer is my knowledge and my assistance to any individual that, you know, needs explanation. I mean, I use the term EOBs, and you were like, what's an EOB? It's an explanation of benefits. It's lingo that I'm very familiar with, and I understand that not everybody understands the industry. It's very complicated. It used to be simple, but now it's become extremely complicated, and I understand that. And I have the patience and the wherewithal to explain to anyone who wants the knowledge.
So we could make it even more complicated, because under the EOB is a number, so when I filled the forms out, didn't want anything else except the number that the doctor put there, the number which outlined the type of service to get the reimbursement. And again, if you need that number, the letter needs to say, make sure you're using that number and you're not just copying things and sending it in. Again, these people really got education tonight, but there are people that are, you're going to get more calls, or we're going to get calls as this moves forward.
And I think, Commissioner, that having her come in next week and setting up times, I think that'll benefit everybody.
That would be,
Yeah.
I also think I'd like to recommend to come back in a month so that they have enough time to tell all their friends too that can't get in there. And maybe you could notify all of them. Yeah.
You didn't go? We can create a list of our weekly visits or bi-monthly visits, whatever the county feels is appropriate for their.
Definitely next week and then a month after that, so that the ones that might be away next week have time to plan, schedule an appointment.
And those
They
that
could
are
be
in
gone,
Florida
right,
now that are
exactly.
coming
Yep.
back,
Yep.
after the season, we will be around. We're not going anywhere, let's put it that way.
Or let them make a phone call appointment.
I can email you a couple of the out-of-state ones, and then
Absolutely, please
I'll
do.
copy them in the email, and then,
Please do.
okay,
I
good.
would appreciate that, and I
Because
will take care of that.
Like he said, 32 years, some of these people, 34, 35 years, kind of need to do something.
I understand.
And if I could just add, I know that we want to get the meeting, this
Yep.
piece of it closed. Some of you asked, how will you know when Further has paid the claim? For any of you that have smartphones or that use computers, on the Horizon website, when you log in, there's a piggy bank there. That piggy bank connects to your Further account. So if you were to look there, you'd be able to go in and see the transactions of what have been processed. Now, again, for those who don't have computers or smartphones, or you don't use the app, you wouldn't be able to see that on the computer. But as Anna said, we do want to allow 2 weeks, 7 to 14 business days, so it's actually 3 weeks, before a payment is mailed. But again, for those of you who have those apps, the piggy bank on your Horizon website will connect you to your HRA.
But this is already all sorted out already. You said as bills
Yes.
dated as of.
Yes.
February
So
1st.
it's already okay.
Yes.
Yes, on the Horizon app, when you log in, you'll look for the piggy bank.
Okay, so I just have one more question for you, and it's only because she's a president of the CWA, our union. It's from Ray Ann.
Yes, it's fine. I just want to also put it out there, and I asked my boss first. I'm a social worker for senior services, so if they can't get here, please have them call us, because I have access to you, Anna. So I can help you look, if I have access to a computer, so I can help you look for your EOBs, I can help you send the emails out to Anna. So please call senior services, ask for Rayanne,
Perfect.
and I can set up appointments too if you can't get here, the days that Ann is here, so please,
We
keep
have-
senior services in
We
mind.
have monthly meetings that Ray Ann is involved in as well, so if there are issues, she brings them up at these monthly meetings that Horizon participates in as well. So Ray Ann is very much involved, as Christina was involved prior to, so, I appreciate you offering that, Ray Ann, I really do. But by all means, members can come directly to me as well. And
All right,
I
well,
thank the commission for their time.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you,
for
Anna.
coming in. You guys are more than welcome to stay. Hopefully we
Well, we're
answered.
gonna be outside.
No,
so that
I'm
if
just talking to everybody else.
Oh.
You're more than welcome to stay if you'd like. Otherwise, thank you. Safe ride home. Thank you, guys.
Commissioners, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you for
Appreciate it.
coming.
Thank you for your service.
Okay, moving forward. 7 is the public hearing. This is the final adoption ordinance. At our regular meeting, I'm just gonna wait a second.
Yeah.
Like a reunion. If you guys have a conversation, could you just please take it outside, please, so we can continue? Thank you. At our regular meeting held on February 22nd, 2023, we introduced the first reading, the following ordinance, which was advertised in the New Jersey Herald issue of March 2nd, 2023, together with a notice of public hearing stating it would be held at this meeting at 6 p.m. Amending speed limits established along County Route 622 under resolutions entitled Establishing Speed Limits on Newton-Schwartz Road in the townships of Stillwater, Hampton, and Freedom in the town of Newton, dated August 27th, 1974. I have a motion that the public hearing be opened.
So moved.
Commissioner Fantasia, I have a second.
Second.
Commissioner Hayden, any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Oppose, abstain, carries. Anyone is here to be heard regarding this ordinance? Seeing no one, can I have a motion that this public hearing be closed?
So moved.
Commissioner Hayden, second. Commissioner Fantasia, any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Oppose, abstain, carries. Need a motion that this ordinance be finally adopted.
So moved.
Commissioner
Second.
Space, Commissioner Hayden seconds. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Deputy Director Yardley,
Yes?
Director Carney,
Yes.
Commissioner Fantasia,
Yes.
Commissioner Hayden,
Yes.
Commissioner Space.
Yes.
All right, and finally, I need a motion to authorize the clerk to advertise this ordinance as finally adopted, and also post the same on the bulletin board in the lobby of the County Administrative Center. Got a motion for this?
So moved.
Commissioner Fantasia, second.
Second.
Commissioner Yardley, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstain, carries. All right. Number 8 is public session from the floor. This public session is for those wishing to make a comment of 3 minutes or less regarding an agenda item. Please line up at the microphone, state your name, municipality, and agenda topic for the record. I get a motion to open to the floor to the public.
So moved.
Commissioner Hayden, have a second.
Second.
Commissioner Yardley, any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstained, carries. Anybody have any public comment regarding the agenda items only? Come on up.
Hi, my name is Joe Rude. I live in Hampton Township. I'm just wondering about the sewer permit for the homestead. Are we taking over their sewer? With this permit, with F on the resident? How is
So,
that working? I'm just,
that
I
force
thought
main
we
is-
sold the homestead and we're no part of it.
And so what's gonna happen, and correct me if I'm wrong, we obviously we have the OEM over there. We're gonna run a force main to Branchville sewer,
Okay.
okay? Once that is done, then they're gonna take over the responsibility of that pipe. Homestead will be paying their share, their lion's share of that. So does that clear that up?
Yep, that's all
Okay,
done.
yeah, that's a project on us.
Okay.
But after that, that is no longer our responsibility,
So.
and the homestead will be paying.
the-
Just like a water
the
bill?
Hampton residents couldn't hook in.
No.
Okay,
No.
that's all.
I wish, you wish, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people want that, and there's only so much capacity.
Okay.
That sewer system's not that big.
Thank you.
So we're lucky that we're gonna get that there.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Joe.
Anybody else? All right, can I get a motion to close the floor to the public?
So moved.
Commissioner Fantasia, can I have a second?
Second.
Commissioner Hayden, any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, abstained, carries. Number 9 is the commissioner's comments. Commissioner Hayden, you want to start?
Sure. With the library, Sussex County Library System had Read Across America Week from March 2nd to 6th, and Library Director Porter used the opportunity to reflect on the gains the Sussex County Library System has made in the past year after fully restoring open hours and ending the occupancy restrictions mandated by the pandemic. It's great to have our buildings abuzz again. Stated Ms. Porter, circulation in 2022 increased 60% over 2021 and continues to rise. Over 500,000 physical items were checked out, with another 132,000 ebooks and audiobooks downloaded. Building visits are up by 27%, with 227,000 people through the doors in 2022, and programming numbers are through the roof. Over 11,000 people attended story times, concerts, educational programs, and such, and more in 2022. So Sussex County Library System continues to make great strides, offering things such as sensory-friendly story time made possible through a grant through the Library Services Technology Act, and introducing wireless printing, which I spoke about last week, from any internet-connected device. So if you need to print something, go on the library, there's a link, and it makes it very easy to do, and it's very cheap. And I'm pleased to announce that printing costs can be paid by a credit card, stated Ms. Porter, in our increasingly cashless society. So that's the report for the library.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Space.
Sussex County Division of Social Services named Agency of the Year. The New Jersey Child Support Council presented the Sussex County Division of Social Services with the CWA Agency of the Year Award for 2022 at the 41st Annual Child Support Conference held in February 2023. The award recognizes the achievements of the division's child support unit in several key areas over the past year, ranking well above the state average for activities including case initiation, case establishment, including paternity and timely case closures. The Division of Social Services Child Support Unit staff work on behalf of the custodial parent by providing children with the financial and emotional support to be productive and healthy citizens in our community. Dr. Richard Letcher retires in March 2023 after 50 years as SCARC's president and CEO. The County of Sussex congratulates Dr. Richard Letcher on his upcoming retirement after devoting 50 years of service as SCARC's president and CEO. For Over 64 years, SCARC has been dedicated to providing services to individuals with developmental disabilities and their families in Sussex County. Dr. Letcher began his career with SCARC as its first director in 1972. His leadership contributed to the evolution of an agency serving under 30 children and adults to its current operation, which includes 22 group homes and several supervised apartments within Sussex County. Dr. Letcher pioneered many human service advisory boards and committees and was a founding member of the Sussex County Human Services Advisory Council. He has built quite a legacy and is admired within the Sussex County community for his lifelong passion and commitment as an advocate for people with developmental disabilities and their families. I'd like to give him a congratulations. I also would like to congratulate Terry Lyons, our former clerk of the board, on her retirement last week, and thank her for all she has done here for the county. Small business grants, I know Ron is going to touch on, but I've personally been in contact with 2 small business owners that are anxiously awaiting these checks that we're going to be giving out very shortly. And they both commented on the ease of the application and a Jessica, I guess her name is, that they've been dealing with, and said that she was very knowledgeable and helpful. And then last week, Commissioner Fantasia and Carney and I, we attended the Sussex County Chamber of Commerce dinner, and they have a new chairman of the board, Tom Ryan from Laddie, Clark and Ryan, and it was a very good dinner. And that's it for me.
Thank you. I'm sorry. Commissioner Fantasia.
Okay. I'm going to start out with the Department of Health. Again, the Division of Health is offering COVID-19 vaccinations for those who are interested. On deck Wednesday, March 15th from 10 to 12 at the Byram Firehouse, and on Wednesday, March 22nd from 10 to 12 at Sparta United Methodist Church. You can fill out your consent form in advance, and Public Health Nursing continues to provide weekly homebound vaccinations. Testing is still free and offered at home through Vault Medical Services. Visit our county website. Now, as far as the Department of Health COVID-19 activity level report, we are still considered at a medium level, code yellow. I always zone in on our hospitalizations because that seems to be the #1 question from most. In March thus far, we've had 2. In February, 39. January was 76. So what does that tell you? We're going in the right direction. More importantly, what I had asked at the start of the year was for us to start tracking flu and RSV because that seemed to be more prevalent in the communities, affecting the schools, and flu mysteriously disappeared in 2020 and then came back with a vengeance. You know, we can't imagine where it went, but it found us again. So what we have here is flu is actually at a low level now in Sussex County, which is good to hear. Now, what I can say, though, emergency room visits in the state of New Jersey are twice as high this year related to flu as they were last year. I can also say with, this is actually very good news, is that Sussex County outbreaks for flu and RSV as of March 3rd, and they consider an outbreak where it's proven to be traced back to spreading at that place. So not like I have it, Herb has it, Jill has it, and we come here all and we have the flu. This is not considered an outbreak. Here we brought it in from elsewhere. As of now, as far as outbreaks that are occurring, there are 0 RSV outbreaks in schools and daycares and 0 RSV outbreaks in long-term care facilities. And then influenza as well, 0 outbreaks in schools and 0 outbreaks in our long-term care facilities. So that seems to be contained, and hopefully, I know winter found us as well, along with the flu. Just this March with us now getting snow and all kinds of winter nonsense that should have happened in December. But hopefully as the weather gets warmer, that will abate a bit. Now, what I would like to share with you, again, being the liaison to District 24, I can share with you the bad news or the bad news because it's coming out of Trenton linked to Governor Murphy's budget. So first of all, the school funding, you must have heard what came. The numbers were finally released. I can say that there are 220 aid cuts across districts in New Jersey, 157 straight cuts, and then some stayed flat, and then some did not raise to the meet the level of inflation. Overwhelmingly, red school districts lost more, and we lost just under $160 million in funding this year. The big winners, though, however, they all have something in common, but Newark is the largest winner. They received $114 million in total aid to raise their total aid to $1.1 billion. In the city of Newark, they're the big winner, followed by Edison, Ridgefield, South Plainfield, and Woodland Park. So you do the math.
Not to interrupt you, but are they happen to be Democrat counties?
Oh, ding, 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 ding.
I was just wondering.
You got it.
Thank you.
So that's how that happened. But I could tell you here in Sussex County, 12 districts took a significant hit. The most painful ones actually came to Hope Patcong. I see we have a Patcong councilman here. They had a $1,080,000 cut, which represented 28.5% of their budget. Kittatinny Regional suffered a loss of $627,000 and change. That's 23.6% of their budget. A little town like Stillwater even experienced 22% decrease, and that was $147,194. Smaller district, but percentage-wise, punched them in the teeth. And Green Township also lost 22.5%, losing over $500,000 in their aid this year, compliments of Governor Murphy. And also, just in our region, just to kind of give you an idea, a huge loser, probably the biggest loser, and not in the good weight loss way, was North Warren Regional, which lost 31.5% of their budget. That's our neighbors, like right across the border in Blairstown and Hope and all that. I don't know if Hope goes there, but Hardwick goes there, Knowlton. They lost $571,000, which represented 31.5% of their budget. So again, you know, we heartily thank Governor Murphy with that gem, being that he is boasting a $10 billion surplus in the upcoming budget, and it's nice to know that Sussex County could weather that kind of storm. Compliments of him. Next, there's another little gem that I would like to share with you. Both Senators Oraho, Senator Testa from down South Jersey, I believe District 1, and then it's a little odd, but Senator Steinhardt, who happens to be sitting to my left right here, who represents Warren County as well, but I know that's not the hat he has on, so I get to, share this tonight. There was a $3 million cut in open space and pilot aid. So as you're aware that, we do have that aid for pilot programs. We do have, it was currently $9 million, and now it was cut to $6 million. So we have our small rural communities, that are home to state lands. We're given open space pilot to offset the impact of properties that we take off the tax rolls to preserve open space. So the governor thought it was an excellent idea to cut a third of that from us. So $3 million was taken off that. And some of the quotes that kind of come out here, and this is a very good one from Senator Testa. There's no need for Governor Murphy to cut rural municipal tax relief by millions of dollars when he's proposing a $10 billion surplus in the next budget. When you combine this cut with inflationary cost increases, other municipal aid cuts the governor has proposed, and higher health benefit premiums for local government employees imposed by this administration, you will see big tax increases in New Jersey. And also, Senator Steinhardt, to quote him, I believe he called this obscene. So I think that sums it up in one word, obscene. So Sussex County took the hit when it came to school funding. We took the hit, we lost pilot funding. But if you listen to the address coming out of Trenton, this is a stronger and fairer New Jersey. So that's my comments for tonight. I'll stop. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Fantasia. Deputy Director Yardley?
I don't have you follow that. Division of Health, there'll be a women's clinic held on March 16th at 4 p.m. The Office of Public Health Nursing. Division of Senior Services, they're having a program which collaborates with the Sussex County Community College on presentations and classes to seniors to the Center for Lifelong Learning. And the center is located on site at Sussex County Community College, hosting an art presentation and class about the life of Vincent van Gogh. Very fascinating topic. Vincent Van Gogh had struggled with mental illness, and I get an opportunity to go to that, I think it would be very, very informative and interesting. And that starts on March 24th at 2 p.m. in the atrium of the Performing Arts Center at Sussex County Community College. Melissa DeJoseph will speak about the qualities of Van Gogh's artwork and about his life. There's also going to be a program, Introduction to Drawing, on March 25th, April 1st, April 15th, April 22nd, and April 29th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. in the Art Gallery, room C106. There's a fee of $30, so if you're interested in doing those activities, those are things that would be maybe something to do, or something they always wanted to do. You can pre-register by contacting the Division of Senior Services. There'll also be a veteran-sponsored event at Karen Ann Quinlan Hospice, Welcome Home Veterans Day lunch, and it will be on Welcome Home Veterans Day on Thursday, March 30th from 11 to 2 p.m., and that'll be at the Karen Ann Quinlan Hospice, Level 5. That will be, again, March 30th from 11 to 2 p.m. That's my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Yardley. Just to segue off a little bit about what Dawn said with the farmland preservation. I mean, we live in Sussex County. That's our pride. I know when I was mayor of Frankfurt, when they still call it, it's called open space. And I always had a problem with that being called open space because we buy wetlands, unrateable wetlands, and that always bothered me. So I like to call it farmland preservation. I think that's what it should be called, buying wetlands. Anyway, so speaking of which, Sussex County Division of Planning and Economic Development, Farmland Preservation Annual Monitoring Report. Once a farm is preserved, the deed of easement requires division staff to monitor farms on an annual basis. As of 2023, staff are responsible for monitoring approximately 190 farms. Of the 190 farms required to monitor, 130 farms have been monitored for fiscal year 2023, which is good because it's a big task. The most recent farm inspections were located in the Kittatinny Valley East region area. Some milestone status, scheduled annual monitoring for 5 farms in Kittatinny Valley East project, check. Conducted site inspections with annual meeting with each farm owner. So basically when you're a farm, if you don't know, they have to conduct business, whether it be trees or animals or what they're doing, vegetables, fruits, all that other stuff. And this is what we have to make sure they do so they're not fraudulent. Identify any concerns, violations of deed of easement, new construction, or new agriculture operation, and prepared and submitted monitoring report to SAPC. Sussex County Division of Engineering report. This project is Office of Project and Traffic Safety, sign fabrication training. Our achievements, the Office of Bridge and Traffic Safety, OBTS, provides sign fabrication services for Sussex County in-house use in various municipalities. We had a shared service, again, with the municipalities. I don't know if the PACON uses it or not, but we save the municipalities money making our signs in-house. It's pretty neat. It expedites things when people run into signs, which obviously you know happens a lot. So we're able to fix them in-house fairly quickly. This training will help to improve the productivity and quality of the sign fabrication. Six staff members received 3 days of in-person training on this sign fabrication equipment in February. Division of Public Works, Project City Works Asset Management Systems, or AMS training. The department continues the rollout and the implementation of the new AMS, including the most recent stormwater AMS application for the DPW. This recent deployment includes training of crew for the AMS inlet inspection, cleaning and repairs, the new AMS targets, compliance requirements for the NJDAP highway, agency stormwater permit, which is a bit of a pain, and it's hard to keep up with, especially when we are lacking some vacancy employees. DPW crews responded to a winter storm on 2/27, which continued into 2/28. The storm resulted in 4 to 6 inches of snow countywide. 56 out of 65 county DPW trucks, in addition to 5 contractors, managed the 65 plow routes. As always, our DPW does a great job, along with our fleet garage, making sure our trucks and our plows are in order time and time again. So great job. No offense, I hope it doesn't snow anymore. I say that every time I give that report. but good job to all of them. We did attend the NJAC meeting yesterday. It's at the New Jersey Association of Counties. That was yesterday. We were graciously hosted by Mohawk House, Steve Skro, the owner, and Planet Networks put on, they also sponsored it and put on a nice presentation. Basically what it is if for people who don't know, it's Morris, Passaic, Warren, Hudson, and ourselves, and Bergen, and Sussex obviously get together, kind of do a round table, go over the things that we've accomplished in the year, things that we're going to accomplish, and problems that we have, and try to kind of bounce off ideas off each other, which is good. It was informative. I thought it was a very good meeting. We got a lot out of it. And you kind of, if somebody has a good idea in say, Morris County, sometimes we borrow that idea, and vice versa. So it was a good event. I had a good time. So we have another one, I think, in November.
October. September.
It's soon. It's soon.
You talking about NJAC meeting?
Yeah,
Yeah, October.
It's in 3 months, so it's, in June, late June, right? March.
I thought he said something.
Again, it's gonna happen.
It's quarterly.
Yeah,
Quarterly would
it's
mean
in
4
Warren
times a
County.
year.
It's in Warren County.
County.
Warren County.
Anyway, that's all I have to report on. Number 10 is the approval of the consent agenda. There is none. Number 11 is the approval of minutes. This is from the regular meetings of February 8th, 2023, and February 22nd of 2023. And a motion to approve the minutes from our regular meeting.
So moved.
Commissioner
Second.
Space, Commissioner Hayden seconds. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Carried. All right. Number 12 is appointments and/or resignations. I'm going to read them both. I would like to vote on both separately. Resolution A is appointment of Lisa Chamings as general public representative. All right, to the Sussex County Agriculture Development Board for a term of 3 years, effective immediately, and expires on December 31st, 2026. I get a motion to adopt Resolution A.
So moved.
Commissioner Space, can I have a second?
Second.
Commissioner Yarley, any discussion on this? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, carries. All right, Resolution B is appointment of Alan Henderson as a second alternative member of the Sussex County Planning Board for a term of 3 years to begin immediately and expire December 31st, 2026. Can I have a motion to adopt Resolution B?
So moved.
Commissioner Hayden, have a second. I will second that. Any discussion? No discussion? Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain?
Abstain.
Carries. 13, resolutions, which there's a lot of. A through S. All right, can I get a motion to adopt resolutions A through S?
I'll make the motion.
Commissioner Yarley, can I have a second?
Second?
Commissioner Fantasia, any discussion? All right, roll call, please.
Deputy Director Yardley.
Yes.
Director Carney.
Yes.
Commissioner Fantasia.
Yes.
Commissioner Hayden.
Yes.
Commissioner Space.
Yes.
All right, awards of contract, change orders, and bids. We have a resolution awarding a contract through the competitive contracting process for Labor Council for the County of March, for the period March 8th, 2023 through March 7th, 2024. The Board of County Commissioners of the County of Sussex has reviewed the award of the contract change orders, bids consisting of various proposed resolutions, and determined that the adoption of the said resolutions is and will be further to the public interest. Motion to adopt Resolution A.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes, I would like an explanation.
Yeah, I would too,
What's that?
on this award of contracts here.
This was, we went out for RFP, and we did the evaluation processes, and we ranked them all, and we picked the top 3 to select based on the evaluations that came in from council and employees, staff.
Can we share with the public what those names are?
It should be in the bottom of the resolution, yeah.
With the public?
Yes.
I don't have a resolution.
I don't either.
That was in the bigger.
It was in the,
And I would like to have an amendment here. I'd like to move that this be moved to our next agenda so we can review all the documents, since we don't have what was done here.
You want to amend that motion?
I want to amend the motion to review this for the next meeting, yeah.
To table?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I'll absolutely
I'll
second that.
Mhm.
Are you guys all right with that
Yes.
amendment? Bill?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to amend that motion to
So-
table.
So, we'll maybe move for a second motion to table this matter.
Yeah, Robert's rules, the motion to table would supersede the other motion, so somebody wants to make a motion to table, that would supersede the underlying.
And I will second that.
Do we have so Fantasia first?
Fantasia first, I'm second. We'll take a roll call.
Deputy Director Yardley?
Yes.
Director Carney?
Yes.
Commissioner Fantasia?
Yes.
Commissioner Hayden?
Yes.
Commissioner Space?
Yes.
All right. 14 is financial. We only have one. This resolution payment of bills list for February 22nd, 2023. So I have a motion to pay the bills list.
I make the motion.
Commissioner Yardley, second.
Second?
Commissioner Fantasia. Any discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Deputy Director Yardley?
Yes.
Director Carney?
Yes.
Commissioner Fantasia?
Yes.
Commissioner Hayden?
Yes.
Commissioner Space?
Yes.
All right. Resolution B is the payment of bills list from February 22nd, 2023, and Commissioner Space, I believe, is going to abstain. All right. Motion to pay bills list B.
So moved.
Commissioner
Second.
Hayden, second. Commissioner Fantasia. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Deputy Director Yardley?
Yes.
Director Carney?
Yes.
Commissioner Fantasia?
Yes.
Commissioner Hayden?
Yes.
Commissioner Space?
Abstain.
Motion to adopt resolutions C and D.
So moved?
Commissioner Fantasia, have a second.
Second.
Commissioner Space, any discussion? Roll call, please.
Deputy Director Yardley?
Yes.
Director Carney?
Yes.
Commissioner Fantasia?
Yes.
Commissioner Hayden?
Yes.
Commissioner Space?
Yes.
Number 15 is personnel. There is none. Number 16 is the administrative report.
Real quick, it's probably the first time in the history of administrators get to do this. It's the only thing on my report. And we call this in labor training, managing up. So here's the first checks of the ARPA that we get to deliver tomorrow. So I thought you guys would like to have those now, so that when you get up in the morning, we can start distributing. These are the ones that you requested that you wanted to have.
Oh, perfect. You
Thank
are
you,
the
sir.
man. Yes.
All right? So make people happy. That's my report for tonight.
It's a good report.
That's a good one.
Good one.
And for the public, this is the money for the small business grants for Sussex County businesses
Yes.
that applied. So this is my hometown, 2 businesses in my hometown, so I'll be delivering that and so on and so forth. So these aren't for us to go to Nordstrom, this is to be delivered to businesses in our hometown.
Something else. Okay, we'll look at it. Yeah. Yes, very happy about that. I will be delivering this on Friday myself.
I will be 8 o'clock in the morning.
8 o'clock in the morning.
We'll be in Hopekton
What do you want me to-
tomorrow.
What's that, bud?
I'll probably do this on Friday. Or
Get whatever you want. Just we'll talk later, but it's a very good accomplishment. County Council report.
I have nothing this tonight, thank you.
All right. Unfinished business.
I have a question, yes, from unfinished business.
Okay.
Was there any communication between the Arts and Heritage Council regarding the small business grant program?
There was information that was sent to them to apply, yes.
Okay, thank you.
So instead of having a workshop about our budget, I think we could be pretty brief, I think, for the most part. Elka, I think right now we're at 1.48.
Yes.
Okay, that's where we're at right now. Unless anybody has any comments, I have one comment. I did talk to Sheriff Strada. He sent us some information on some cuts that he was gonna make today. Ron and I have that. It's approximately $201,000. That's included in that 1.48.
Is also the health department
Yes.
from Herb and I yesterday.
Okay, so Herb and
I was gonna.
Yes, so the 1.6 that we were at last week included cuts to the sheriff that
Right.
we had discussed at previous meetings.
Right.
But then it was discussed at the last meeting to give him the opportunity to figure out where those cuts should be.
Right.
So some of that money would
changed around as to where it was coming from.
Right, and
So that's what got us to the 1.6, and then after the health department, we're down to the 1.3.
And where was our discussion on fund balance? I don't know how we go from the 1.6 to the 1.48, because I thought the health department was to the tune of $300,000 or something.
It was roughly 150.
Oh, it was 150. Okay, so I have the incorrect numbers.
Didn't they tell us more than that?
Some of that had already been accounted for. They were looking at grant monies and that had already accounted
Oh,
for.
she'd
so-
already- okay.
Yeah, so.
And fund balance, what was the final?
Right now, fund balance is additional 500,000.
I thought we were at 7. We were 7, not 5.
Well,
We discussed
I
7.
just, if I could just,
It was approval that.
Yeah, I don't remember
discussed
7 being
around,
discussed.
Brought it down to up to 7, at least not in my notes.
No, it wasn't 500,000. It was 700,000 that we discussed. Am I right?
I thought it was
Did we say
5.
bumping it?
We went from 7.2 to 7.7. Yeah, I think that's where the 7's coming.
where the 5 is coming in.
Yeah.
To 7.7.
7, I think that's where the 7's
Gotcha.
coming.
Thank you.
Herb, you got a question?
Yeah, just, Commissioner Hayden and I will, kind of take some time this week and go line for line through some of the budgets. Maybe talk to some of the departments, see if we can come up with some more funding. So that's what we'll be doing prior to the next meeting.
Right, and we'll just have our next meeting at our normal meeting. That gives you plenty of time. That gives you 2 weeks, everybody.
More than enough.
More than enough, right? Jill?
Yep.
Dawn? Right, okay, good. So hopefully we can come to a conclusion and get this ball rolling, because there is repercussions.
No,
As everybody, I think got emailed on, you emailed everybody. So we need to get on this.
Understood.
So, okay, well, that's easy enough for unfinished business.
No executive.
I have new business. I do have some new business. I was a busy bee today with Christina Marks, after she bought me lunch. Yeah, she did buy me lunch. So there are some grants, some grant opportunities, and it kind of goes back even what Dawn said earlier about, not getting any money. There is a pretty good grant out there. I'll read the first one. The first one is a LEAP program that we went over this morning, and I actually even reached out to Jackie Suarez, who's the director of the DLGS. So there's a Division of Local Government Services grant opportunity from the state of New Jersey that would provide $75,000 for a shared service coordinator. This could be used toward an existing employee to offset some salaries as a reimbursement grant to coordinate shared service opportunities with other agencies. Application is due on the 15th. So what I'm asking for you, and there's no loss here whatsoever. Worst case scenario, it's a no.
Bless you.
I would like to get a motion now, that way we can put this together and get this done, because our next meeting is obviously after the 15th. But this is a good way to offset 75. We gotta put the money out first, we'll get it later, but this will, in return, go to our fund balance. So if I can have a motion to get the ball rolling, that would be.
So moved.
Commissioner Space and Commissioner Hayden, I appreciate that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carries. All right, thank you so much. All right, there's a second grant opportunity called Fiscal Year 24 Congressional Directed Spending Community Project Funding that is also due March 15th. This would be a federal grant for funds for a one-time project tied to the community. It would be a possible opportunity to bring some of our older buildings up to snuff when it comes to ADA compliant and enhance services to the community. So another one, it's 15th. It's worth a shot. Get the ball rolling at least. There's some projects we need to do with our facilities, as we all know. Some of them are in bad shape that we speak about. So again, not expecting much, but it's worth a shot. Again, looking for a motion for this to get the ball rolling.
I'll make that motion.
Commissioner Yardley? Have a
Second.
Commissioner, any Commissioner Space, any discussion?
So the money we get, it would 100% fund whatever project we come up with for the ADA. Or we'd have to kick in some, but it would offset.
Maybe, maybe I would, my idea would be, depending on what project, and I have one in mind, it's kind of up on the hill, it's a brick building, it's very large.
The building we don't speak of.
But we also don't
Elka's
accept
not allowed to
money.
talk
Building we
about.
don't
It's
say.
that way.
Shall never be named.
Ideally, if we could get X amount of dollars, which would be a lot to rehab that building, great. If we had to kick in a little bit, fine. But to afford to get that building up to snuff, it would be a lot. This would be a saving grace. It really would be. And then that would reallocate some ARPA money into other things instead of building those buildings and whatnot. So It's a good opportunity. I personally think it's far-fetched just because I know where it's coming from, right?
Yeah.
And I know how much they like us so much. Nevertheless,
They love us.
I still wanna get going on it. So if I can get a motion for that, or we already had a motion, I'm sorry. But that's where we're at. So,
All in favor?
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, abstained, carries. Very, very good. Thank you, guys. That's all I have for new business. Anybody else have any new business? Perfect. All right. Number 20 is the public session from the floor. This public session is for those wishing to make general comments of 3 minutes or less on non-agenda topics. Please line up at the microphone, state your name and municipality for the record. I get a motion to open the floor to the public.
So moved.
Commissioner Fantasia, have a second.
Second?
Commissioner Space, any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, carries. Anybody from our audience have anything to say on non-agenda items?
Good evening, everyone. Ryan Smith from APATCOM. You have a thankless job, but I'm here to say thank you. The small business grants make a difference. Thank you. You're bringing our checks tomorrow to 2 of our businesses in town. I understand you're coming with him.
Yep.
I will not be there, but I am very grateful for this opportunity. I know Mayor Francis and I knocked on a lot of doors trying to get a lot of businesses to apply for this grant. I am so thankful to every one of you for finding the money to give to our businesses who have been hurt so badly by this pandemic. And with that, I'll let you have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. And thank you for your work as well.
Good evening. I'm Susan Geimer, Hampton Township, and I do work for the county. I work at Jeff Parrott's office, and I just have two simple questions. Last week, when we had the delayed opening, it was our information that it was put on the website at 7:35 in the morning. On a good day, I leave by 20 after 7 in the morning. 7:35 is too late. We need like 5 o'clock in the morning notice. And the other part is, the county has an alert system. Us employees, we signed up for it a couple years ago. We're supposed to get alerted. Hey, guess what? This is going on with the county today. Is it broke?
Yep.
Okay, good answer. Are we going to get it fixed before the end of
Yep.
the season? Before our storm this coming weekend into Monday and Tuesday next week?
Yep.
Okay, beautiful.
And we agree with you that it shouldn't have happened. There was some miscommunication that if you got the email following that from Ron, obviously there was an apology that was needed
Well,
to be
we
given.
thank you for giving us the 2 hours, to accommodate us on that.
That's at least we could have done,
That was
but,
very nice of you.
yeah, just a little confusion. It will not happen again.
Maybe add us to the list too, 'cause I didn't even know we had a delayed opening.
So,
Okay, thank you, folks.
thank you
for everything.
so much. Anybody else? All right, can I get a motion to close the floor to the public and return to regular business?
So moved.
Commissioner Fantasia, second.
Second.
Commissioner Hayden, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, carries. All right. Number 21 is reminders. Please check the county's website at www.sussex.nj.us for meeting schedules. 22 is executive session, and we do not have one tonight. Very nice. And just need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Second, Commissioner Fantasia, motions, Commissioner Space, seconds. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Carries. Meeting is adjourned at
7:48.
7:48. Thank you all for coming. Elka, thank you.